What's up, nerds? We are your hosts this week. I am Jake.
I like how you had to look. And I am Chad.
This week we are sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks. Oh, yeah. Get it.
We're also sponsored by Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce. Just put it all the way in, close your mouth, and then pull it back out. Oh
This,
boy.
this is a rough opening. So,
Title of your sex tape.
yep. So this week we'll be talking about some of the upcoming movie trailers that we saw during this year's Super Bowl.
We will also be talking about, oh my God, I lost myself. We will also be talking about The Last of Us, now streaming on HBO Max. Yeah, so let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd Podcast.
Nerd. Welcome back, nerds, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. So, Jake, how was your week?
My week's been pretty chill. Nothing crazy going on over here. Bought a new couch. Should hopefully get here this weekend. I also bought a new desk for my new office that has not been built yet at my new job. So
Woo!
it's in a box in the back of my car. How
Woo!
about you? Yeah.
My week was pretty chill. Didn't really do much. Obviously, watched the Super Bowl. Had D&D this weekend. We all thought that it was going to be the final session of this current campaign, but we somehow didn't die. This campaign is basically going to end with either us succeeding on this mission or we all die. And we didn't die. And we didn't succeed yet either. So that was fun. Got to level up. So got to actually see like I play in this campaign. I play as a ranger, like a half elf ranger, and got to actually see some cool abilities added to it. But didn't die and didn't win. So I guess it goes on for another month. But yeah, I mean, other than that, really nothing. Didn't do much. Played some video games. You know, the huge, just being sad. I'm just kidding. For those of you that are watching, you can
Oh.
obviously see that my beard is gone because during the Super Bowl, I got a little drunk and I was like, my face itches, and I shaved it off.
Hide your kids.
It's like if Ted Lasso actually let himself go.
It's like if Ted Lasso and Ron Jeremy like meshed. Hey,
And like one of them ate the other. Anyways, so we have a fair amount to talk about. So let's just go ahead and get right into our first sponsor, which is Ray's Energy Drinks. We've been talking about it for weeks, months, years, actually. It's fantastic. It's 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 crash. And if energy drinks aren't your thing, they have pre-workout, protein powders, protein-packed pancakes, cake in a cup, all that shiz. Listen up and learn how to save 15%. We'll be right back with you. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Ray's Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Ray's Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, and powered by their refresh formula technology, Ray's Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, Every can of Ray's Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you.
All right, friends. Big thing happened yesterday. It was the Super Bowl 57. And KC won, as most of us knew they would. But it was a close fucking game.
And it was a good game. And partway through, I think I texted you like partway through even the first quarter, and I was like, Jalen Hurts is a beast. Like, I would not be mad if they won.
Yeah. I wasn't super invested in either of these teams for the Super Bowl. Phillies fans are nuts, and I'm kind of a little bored of seeing KC in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The only reason I went with KC is because I had Mahomes on my fantasy league this year. I'm sorry, got the hiccups. And so I was like, yeah, I'll root for KC. Plus, Mahomes is a beast, too. I mean, that ankle injury and then coming back out and playing the way he did, that was impressive.
I mean, that ankle injury only was 2 weeks ago during the division championship.
Mm-hmm.
And then came back out, re-hurt it. And you could even see in the second half, because he, hurt it at the end of the first half. One of the last drives.
Yeah.
And, man, you could see anytime he got hit, on his face, just, he was in pain. But he took that shit personally.
Yeah.
He was like, nah, I'm going to play harder now because of it.
Yeah. And then you could see it the whole time. He was hard the entire time at the second half.
It was very uncomfortable because it's just a fucking.
No, a couple of cool things about the Super Bowl this year. One, it's the first time in NFL history that 2 African American quarterbacks were the quarterbacks, which is amazing. Also, first time in NFL history that on opposite teams were brothers playing against each other.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Travis and Jason Kelce. They disrespected Jason Kelce in the first half. Might even been in the first quarter because Jason Kelce plays on the O-line for Philadelphia. And Travis Kelce had just gotten a touchdown. They're like, yeah, this is the first time in NFL history that 2 brothers on opposing teams, Travis Kelce just got a touchdown pass, and then it went to Jason Kelce, who's sitting on the bench because obviously he's on offense, and the defensive team is on the field, and he's having a protein bar. They're like, yeah, and Travis Kelce just scored a touchdown, and Jason Kelce is having a snack. And I was like, that's so fucking rude.
That's funny.
He's not the new Marshawn Lynch who's on the sideline eating Skittles. He was having a fucking protein bar in between quarters.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Knock it off. But we did get some trailers, not nearly as many as what we thought we were going to get.
Yeah.
And not even less than what we expected. It was kind of disappointing, to be honest. But let's talk about the one that hurts us the most.
The Flash.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Here's the problem is that for months now, we have been reading about and hearing about Ezra Miller just being the biggest piece of shit in the entire world. I
Yeah.
mean, this dude's like soliciting minors, assaulting people, like breaking and entering. Like he's just if this
Yeah.
was anybody but him or Amber Heard, you would be fired immediately.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
They're not painting a good picture as to who they are.
yeah, and for some reason they both kept their jobs. But what's really disappointing about it is that, God damn it,
It looks
it
so good.
looks fucking good.
It looks
It
so
looks
good.
so good. It's like, no, why? Yeah, it looks fantastic. Yeah, it's a bummer. There's things that we have talked about together that we could pick apart a little bit about it. Um,
I mean, let's talk about it because it's not against any of the particular actors or even the
yeah.
fact like so instead of having Superman in it, they have
Kara,
Kara,
Kara
you know,
Zor-El, yeah.
Supergirl,
Hmm.
Superwoman, Supergirl.
Supergirl.
Yeah. Uh, Nothing against the actress. Nothing against even in the trailer, like the emotion that's portrayed, but like the CGI that we saw of her in her suit doesn't look that great. The suit
No,
looks cool. It's a
yeah.
cool like modern adaptations of having like the mini skirt and
Yeah.
the super like
I thought it was a
oh
little
let's
weird that there was no like red on the feet. It's like all blue except for like the cape. It's just like solid blue, like
yeah
all the way
basically
through. I
from
thought
like the ribs up is red.
yeah,
It's like I mean the suit still looks good. It
yeah. It's
is
not bad.
it's a little different like you said there's no like red boots anything like that but
It's not bad. The only like I guess I don't know this actress and I won't say anything bad about her. And I'm excited. What I don't want to be excited for this movie because Ezra Miller is such a piece of shit. But it looks so good. I'm gonna have to see it in theaters. And for this podcast, obviously, it's like homework. Boo me, right? Uh,
oh no.
yeah. But she looks like she's like fucking 13.
She
And
does look
that,
very young.
yeah, and that's maybe she's supposed to be that young, and I don't know. And then it would be fitting, if she's supposed to be around in the comics, Kara and Clark are like similar in age.
Yeah.
And she does not look like
She
she's
does look very young.
Henry Cavill's age, yeah. And also I may just be being salty that Henry Cavill is out of the picture. So,
Could be.
yeah. It's a strong
Strong probability for both of us, let's be
yeah.
honest. Because, I mean, he's just so great.
And as big of a piece of shit as Ezra Miller is, there's more than one pieces of shit in this movie,
Yeah.
and they're both Ezra Miller.
Yeah. They have two, to take Marvel's terminology, variants of themselves.
Hmm.
The one that came from the DC EU that we know, like the
Hey,
Snyderverse.
hey, come here. We're not recording. We're on commercial. How's it going? Hey, love you. Got you. We're recording. That's Nicole, everybody. Love you.
Oh no!
Sup, nerds?
Hey.
That's our word. uh,
um,
but the Flash looks so good.
yeah.
I mean, Michael Keaton,
Michael Keaton.
and we actually get to see him like
Yeah.
with the cowl on. Clearly, he's an older version, but he's still
And he's
I'm
just
Batman.
taking names. Like
Yeah,
in the trailer, I mean, don't get me wrong. I grew up on the original Michael Keaton Batman movies.
the same.
They're everything to me. But like he did not do the shit that he does in this movie, in this trailer that he did in that entire movie. And I was like, ooh,
Yeah,
Michael Keaton, damn. We also have Ben Affleck's Batman in this movie. And there's
Speculation, if you
speculation. That's
will.
a good word. Yeah. That Bale is in it as well. Christian Bale, if you will,
Yeah.
is also in it because there
Bill Man.
is a very similar motorcycle um, to what he uses in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Very briefly in the trailer. Is it? Probably not. I'm guessing it's still Keaton.
I don't think that we're going to get a third Batman.
Would be cool,
It
though.
would be cool, though. Uh,
General Zod from Man of Steel is back, which just is cool, but kind of pisses me off too, because it's like, really? We're bringing back bad guys, but we can't bring back Henry Cavill as Superman.
I
What are
think
we
it's
doing?
a one-off.
I know. I
But yeah,
just want Henry Cavill back as Superman.
100%. It's. I don't like to say it. I mean, I'm excited because it looks like it's going to be really, really great. A very enjoyable film.
Mhm.
It's just there's so much controversy around it, and we know that this is supposed to be the thing that resets everything, that it hurts because of how good this is going to look.
Mhm.
That they could have still kept all of the actors, and
Yeah.
still let this be a reset and move forward with it, but they're not. They're like picking and choosing.
Yeah.
And
Some of the original actors, Jason Momoa, I think Gal Gadot? No? Okay, well, Jason Momoa.
Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, and Henry Cavill, all three are not going to come back as of right now.
Mm.
And they're suing Warner Brothers at the same time.
Yeah.
Because of breach of contract. Which...
And it's a bummer. And if anybody who's been listening to this podcast, and I know we're spending a lot of time on just this one trailer, but it's probably the bigger one out
Yeah.
of, well, that's not true. But I am a die-hard Superman fan. Ever since I was a little kid, I read damn near all the comics. I mean, piles and piles of comics. Watched every TV movie adaptation, cartoons. I mean, that's my boy. And Henry Cavill just embodied the character so well. I'm not saying, and I won't be a jerk. I'm not saying that whoever's going to take up the mantle is going to be bad at it. Hell, they might even be fantastic at it. I have no idea. I don't even know who it's going to be. I'm just a little butthurt about Henry. I love you, Henry. I mean, what was that? One of our first, I think our first episode ever, we were talking about Henry Cavill
Yeah.
as Superman. Weren't we talking about Justice League?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good, though.
Yeah.
On a less exciting note, and just like a thing that's happening, so we don't have to spend a lot of time on it, is Fast 10. Fast X, if you will. I'm really hoping that this is the last one.
It's not.
It's not? I thought that they were stopping after 10.
One more. There's one more. And
then there's going to be one more. And then there's going to be one more.
Have I ever told you my idea for a Fast reboot?
No. Is it where they street race a quarter mile at a time with the DeLorean, and then they go back in time and reset everything?
We'll talk about this trailer, but give me 1 minute to explain this reboot. And copyright, I'm just gonna say it right now. It would be amazing if we know Brian O'Connor and what's his name? Vin Diesel's character, Dominic Toretto.
Yeah.
They both have children. They both have boys. And Brian and Mia also have a daughter. It would be amazing for a reboot and bring this show back to its roots, what it was supposed to be about: street racing, cops against bad guys. Uh, it would be amazing if it time jumped and we did their kids as very young adults, and Brian O'Connor's kid, who is resenting his cop father, who is, now dead, maybe died in the series, um, and becomes a criminal and a car thief and street racer, and Dominic Toretto's kid, who's roughly the same age, who resents his criminal father and becomes a cop, and they have to team up together like a buddy cop series, like Rush Hour or something like that, but like more serious. And like how Brian and Dom's sister fell in love, it would then be Dom's kid and Brian's sister fall in love. Parallel,
But that would be a little
like
incestuous, if you will, because they're cousins. Be cousin kissing at that
oh
point.
shit,
Then.
yeah, Brian's I didn't even think about that. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Scrap that. My bad. But it
Everything
would-
else sounds great.
everything else. I didn't think about the fact that Mia and Dom are brother and sister, even though I said it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops.
This movie.
But yeah, I think they would be really cool. But yeah, this
that
movie,
would be a cool way to reboot it.
and then you could sprinkle in cameos from, people, but don't make them the main focus anymore, and bring it back to, we're not flying cars into space wearing scuba gear. We're taking it back to street racing
Yeah.
and like
they're not
ground level. Yeah. They're not
jumping
super
cars
spies.
between
Yeah.
skyscrapers
Buildings in
in
Dubai.
Dubai. They're not
Yeah.
racing a car down a fucking giant dam like we're gonna see in this one.
Yeah.
You can even bring back the GTO, but let it be run down instead of indestructible,
Yeah.
depending on which scene you're watching. Half the scenes it's indestructible, the other times it folds in half. Yeah. I mean, this movie's gonna happen, and it should end, but it won't, because
But by God, we're gonna watch it.
yeah, unfortunately, it's just it's gonna keep happening because in a couple of the main actors' contracts, they can't lose a fight, and half the times they're fighting each other, which means it's just gonna go on forever.
No, I think the next one's the last one.
I fucking hope so.
Yeah.
I really do. I loved the early ones. I keep watching them because they keep coming out, but I don't care anymore.
It's almost like watching it just to see
It's like watching
What-
Family Guy or
what's-
South Park nowadays.
what's
Like,
the crazy, unbelievable thing they're
Yeah.
gonna do in
how
this
far
one.
are they going to push this?
And the
Because
last one
they
was
can.
literally
Space.
space in a car
With a 1980s Honda.
in scuba gear, not astronaut gear, scuba gear, in space in a car.
Not how it works. I mean,
But yeah. So
yeah.
there's gonna be something ridiculous. There's gonna be something ridiculous.
I mean, in the trailer,
No, there's gonna be something
just
worse. There's gonna be
drives-
something worse.
Dom drives
There's a-
down a dam
No.
after ramping his car off the edge of it, and then somehow, instead of following physics where it's gonna arc and then slowly even out, he just kind of like arcs and is like meow down a vertical wall.
Yeah, it's not gonna be great. Not gonna be great.
We kind of knew that we weren't going to get an Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer because the movie comes out this coming Friday. So it was
But-
just kind of like a beer spot.
The movie comes out this coming Friday, and guess who's gonna go see it? Me and you.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend. And some of our friends.
Yeah,
But
it'll be fun. But what did we get from Marvel?
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they didn't really give us a trailer. They were like, here's a 10-second trailer. Go watch the trailer online now. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I watched it, and I was like,
That's
yeah,
how
this
like
looks dope.
half of them were.
Yeah.
It was like clips, and it was like, oh yeah, full trailer online now. And it was like, I get
Yeah.
it. You're trying to save money. Whatever.
It looks amazing. I am so excited for this movie.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. We will get a lot of Rocket's backstory, which will be fun. Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. We also see what's the dog's Cosmo is in
Yeah.
the trailer, which is cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the Guardians have kind of like fully established nowhere as their home base, which is kind of a bummer that this is going to be the last like Guardians of the Galaxy film. Like
Yeah.
some of them
They'll-
that still want to
yeah, I
be a
was gonna say.
part of the MCU will be popping up here and there for like team ups, but it's a bummer that the final Guardians of the Galaxy movie is where they actually like dive into the Guardians of the Galaxy comics of like, oh yeah, their home base is nowhere.
This is where Rocket comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not nowhere, but you
Yeah.
know, they
And
go into it.
Cosmo's a big part of the Guardians and nowhere security and things like that. And it's like,
Yeah.
awesome, give us more. And they're like, nah.
Yeah. Something tragic is going to happen. You can tell in the preview. We also know that Drax, or the actor who plays Drax,
Dave
John
Bautista.
Cena. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
Bam,
Dave
bam,
Bautista
bam.
has
Sorry,
said that
Dave.
he is not returning as Drax after this movie. I'm thinking he's going to die. So
Yeah.
he doesn't really have much to live. His family's gone already. The only family he has now is the Guardians. And there's like a very emotional scene in the trailer where you can see Peter Quill screaming no and crying.
Mm-hmm.
I think Drax is gonna die.
Yeah.
He's gonna die.
He gonna die.
He's gonna die.
But also we get sorry, just trying to like
Yeah, we gotta get through him.
go through this. We do get more of the Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny,
Love Indiana Jones.
and it is the final go for Harrison Ford.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's old. Makes sense that he's got to give it up eventually, and they want to give him a proper send off.
Mm-hmm.
Still, it looks good.
They should have kept up the Shia LaBeouf thing, and then they could have kept running with it.
Yeah, I just think that it was so poorly received that they're like,
Yeah.
nah.
That and yeah, you put your hands on your significant other and also a police officer, then Hollywood kind of. Yeah.
Depending on who you are.
I was like, unless you're Ezra Miller or Amber Heard, then
Yeah.
then James Gunn is like, hey, do you want a contract?
Hmm. We also got more for, well, not really more. It was almost the same
Kind of
exact
the same trailer. Yeah.
for Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
Mhm.
Which, I mean, it still looks cool because Beast Wars
does
was
look cool.
the shit.
Yeah. It'd be cool if they could reboot this with this and like do a good job about it, because they tried with
Marky Mark.
Mark Wahlberg, yeah, and it was terrible. And then they tried again with Bumblebee, and it was meh. And yeah,
Bumblebee was greenlit for a sequel, though.
I know. It's dumb.
We'll see.
And then
Same with kind of a new trailer, but kind of not. Dungeons and Dragons. Just a couple changed scenes, but same gist.
I think it looks kind of dumb. I love Chris Pine, so that hurts me to say, but
I really want this to be good because I love Dungeons and Dragons. I don't have hope because it's.
yeah.
We'll get into this in a couple of weeks, leading up to the movie, because we will go see it, and we're gonna have someone on that knows so much more about Dungeons and Dragons to talk about it.
Chris Pine, everyone.
Oh,
No, I'm just
if
kidding.
only. Uh, but it's kind of a cash grab right now for Hasbro, and it's not tracking well, but we'll see where it goes. And then some of our less nerdy things that's coming out. What's another trailer that we got for that looks
Well,
good? It's just not nerdy.
Yeah, Air. It's about Matt Damon and Ben Affleck trying to sign Michael Jordan to the Air Jordan shoe brand.
Yeah,
I think it looks fantastic.
it
Um,
looks really great. Yeah,
yeah.
when
I
Nike
was just
still
really mad they
controlled.
never showed who played Michael Jordan in the
Yeah,
trailer.
I'm really curious.
I was like, what the fuck? They showed like the back of him, like walking into a room, and I was like, oh, who is it? Who is it? And then that was like the end of the trailer,
Yeah.
and I was like, you motherfuckers! I'll kill your whole family. But yeah, I could look it up, but I won't.
I don't know if it's been released yet.
Oh,
But we also get a little bit more for like Creed 3.
I'm jacked about this. I love the Creed
Yeah,
movies.
they're
I loved
great.
the Rocky movies growing up. I watched them as a kid. I loved the first two Creed movies. This will sadly be the first movie without Sly Stallone. The Italian stallion Sylvester himself will not be in this one. Um, but this movie looks fantastic. Jonathan Majors going head to head with our boy
Fucking
John
jacked
Cena. No,
as
I'm just
well.
kidding.
Bam, bam, bam,
No,
bam.
Michael B. Jordan, not to be confused with Michael Jordan. Yeah, this movie is going to be so good. This is also Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, correct?
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, he's the one directing this movie, or directing or producing or both, something along those lines. But yeah, it's his debut
That's
of something,
awesome.
and yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then lastly, we got another trailer for 65.
Kylo Ren fighting dinosaurs.
I'm intrigued. Yeah, Adam Driver, and is it his daughter? We don't know. Could just be
I
a
don't
small
think so.
child.
I don't think so. No, because in the trailer, he finds a pod on the ship he crashed in, and it's that girl. I don't. It's not
Oh,
anyone related to him. It's just the only other survivor on the ship.
they crash land on Earth 65 million years ago. Was it because of time travel? Because they've got some crazy ass weapons, or is it just the humans were never supposed to be on Earth? Who knows? We'll figure it out. But it's kind of an interesting concept. I mean,
And it's from the producers of A Quiet Place, which is
yeah,
John Krasinski. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be good.
yeah. It's a new kind of Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Actually, they made this movie a while ago. I
Planet of
wanna-
the Apes. Yep.
No,
I'm
yes.
just kidding.
But no, I think it's called Outlander or something like that. It's a guy from the future who crash lands on a planet in the past.
Oh.
They did. It's got that Jim Chevrolet or whatever, the super Christian guy. He played Jesus in Passion of the Christ. Whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. But they actually made this movie. It was just called something else. And it didn't do as well. It didn't even go to theaters. But it was actually pretty good. But we'll see. Anyways, hi.
Neat. And then, so that's kind of it for trailers. But before we go to our next sponsor spot, I mean, we just kind of want to wrap up The Legend of Vox Machina Season 2. Because we won't get a chance to wrap it up next week either. Because The Last of Us is so good, and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania comes out as well. Just spoiler alert first off for Legend of Vox Machina. This show's so good.
It was the season. It was the last 3 episodes of this season. So the season finale is included in this. So go watch it. Come back.
Yeah.
You know the deal. 3, 2, 1. All right. You had enough time. Go.
It's so good. Like,
Nice.
it just really is. I mean, we get to. I was surprised because I was like, oh, these are the last three episodes. They're only about a half hour each. I was like, there's so much stuff for them to wrap up.
Hmm.
And they didn't. They let some of the plot points linger to go into the third season.
I thought that's what was really cool about this season because the first season they wrapped everything up in a nice little bow, and you were like, "Oh, okay." So we were expecting them to do the same thing, and like season three's mission would be a different mission.
Yeah.
It's not. The season two mission is to kill these dragons, and they only killed one.
Yeah.
So there's still three dragons left,
Yeah.
and yeah, they left it open for them to go fuck those bitches up too.
Yeah, they only get rid of the acid spitting dragon.
Hmm.
The one that took the vestige sword from Scanlan and the Sphinx a few episodes ago. They get it back through brutal slaughter.
Yeah.
They also go up its pooper at one point in time.
Hmm.
Scanlan performs a bardic inspiration prostate exam.
And Pike just goes, "You gotta be kidding."
Yeah. Scanlan's like, or they're like, we can only defeat it from the inside, but we can't survive going through all that acid. And Scanlan's like, we can go a different way. Dun 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 dun. Right up the
Um,
pooper.
right up the poop chute. Yeah. Uh, yeah, it was funny. It was really good. You
You
got
were
the
kind of
messages?
yeah,
Huh?
and you were right for the most part from your prediction that how Grog will get his muscles back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. I figured that was.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come
They
on.
basically told you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he got his muscles back.
Through his fight with his uncle, where he's just getting his shit rocked. But Scanlan and Pike are there to kind of like encourage him, and then they get caught, and Grog has to get his muscles back. And then once he gets the gauntlets, because obviously he defeats
Mhm.
his uncle, then his muscles get even bigger and
Yeah.
convinces their
He can kind of like Ant-Man himself.
on command.
Yeah, he can get bigger and smaller.
He can engorge.
Does-
He can engorge
Doesn't even have
himself.
to spit on it. Doesn't
Yeah.
even have to spit on it. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Sorry, Mom.
I didn't know how to transition. Yes, sorry, mother. Did not know how to transition out of that.
Basically, his uncle is about to like kill Pike, and that's what set him off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean
What's the other one? Vax has stuff going on because he goes in that pool, takes a swim, you know?
yeah. Basically meditates to talk to the Raven or
Mhm.
the matron of ravens. Um, to get inspiration. Also, not to like set himself up to die or like
Mm.
let her consume his soul. I don't know. It's just really good. It's just something that you all should go watch. We don't
Yeah.
want to give away too much from it, but like it, this entire second season has been fantastic, and it's
Better, yeah,
it's a-
better than the first,
yeah.
for sure.
Well, at least different pacing, because the first season was pretty fucking bomb.
Yeah, I
Um,
just like this one so much more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more coherent. It's some of where like the episodes break and go into the next one. I'm like, give us more, and then they do. So there's not really an issue there. It's just that the story doesn't wrap up as nicely as the first season,
Yeah.
but it sets up for the next season a little bit better instead of a cliffhanger. It's like
And
we're partway done.
And now they have a fighting like in the beginning of the season when they fight the dragons, they just get handed to.
Yeah.
And then now, Vax has the crow thing, whatever, the vestige of crow, whatever. He's got Jon Snow's armor. Uh um the Keyleth, or is it Keyleth or Vex? Vex has the broom, the flying broom.
The flying broom, but that's not the vestige. Her new bow
I know,
is
I'm
the
just saying
vestige.
it's like a new thing. And then Keyleth, it can now turn into that like fire demon, which is
Yeah.
like helpful for them. Um,
Her elemental form.
Grog has the gauntlets that he got from his uncle, which is one of the vestiges. And surprisingly, but not surprisingly, because I totally called it, Scanlan got his sword back from the dragon that stole it from him and the Sphinx in that episode. So the heroes now have Vox Machina now has two vestiges and all of these other
Four.
like four.
Four
Oh yeah,
vestiges.
because the armor too. Yeah.
The armor,
That's
the
true.
gauntlets, the bow, and the sword.
Oh, the bow! I forgot about the bow.
Yeah.
Yep. So they now they have like a pretty solid fighting chance against the other
Yeah.
dragons. So I'm stoked for season 3.
Yeah.
I hope it just comes out soon, which it won't. It's gonna be like a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are the cons of this last 3 episodes, Chad?
Percy.
Oh yeah, should have guessed that.
I feel bad. It's nothing against. Well, two things. As like playing D&D as an artificer, which is kind of what Percy is. Uses black powder weapons, things like that, isn't bad in the grand scheme of D&D. And the voice actor that created and played as Percy, not necessarily his fault. It's just that Percy in the show, over the dramatization of everything, like the dramatization, you want me to phrase it that way?
Dramatization.
Okay, fine. Dramatization. Yeah. Make fun of me. Percy just is a bummer.
Oh, I was gonna say bitch. I was waiting for you to say bitch.
I thought about it, but then I felt bad because that's like talking down on the person that created him and voiced him and plays as him in the campaign itself. It's just a bummer character when it goes to a bigger screen. Because I'm sure that when you're actually playing as an artificer, like, you can do some real damage. It's just that when everyone else is like casting magic and have like powered up arrows and can misty step from place to place and like, cover such great distance in a blink of an eye, a very basic pew pew doesn't do much,
Oh, he's got he's got the shocker wrist thing.
Yeah, once it's a one-off. Yeah.
Yeah, he sucks.
Okay, let's get
That
on
being
to
said-
oh, tell them all about our other sponsor.
Sponsor number 2 is Cry Baby Craig's hot sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything. Listen up, and we'll tell you more about it when Chad's done jerking it off.
Even my titties.
Listen up, we'll tell you more about it.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today. All right, nerds. So we were kind of lucky. Even though we're recording a day late because of the Super Bowl, we did get The Last of Us, this is episode 5, a couple of days early. So it came out last Friday. So it kind of sucks that there's 9 days until from that episode to the next one. But, so we're going to talk about that. Spoiler alert. That's enough time, I think.
Yeah. Oh, let me rephrase. Stand up.
Beehaw.
Yeah.
I love this shirt. It's a dad joke I can wear. As opposed to Jake, who likes to wear dad's yoke.
I don't eat my homies.
You missed the tink tink joke. That's fine.
Oh, dad yolk.
Yeah. Thanks.
Baby gravy, if you will.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Kitten's milk. You know? Gross. I'm sorry, Mom. Actually, I'm just sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. So,
Tiny Tim, keep going.
This episode follows the encounter. Basically, it picks up where we left off from episode 4, with Joel and Ellie being held at gunpoint by Henry and his younger brother Sam. One big change from the game is that Sam is now deaf in the show. But it's a really cool dynamic that it creates. Why are you saying stupid?
I'm just being a jerk.
You're
my girlfriend.
It's
my
not
girlfriend's
stupid.
deaf. I'm just trying to be.
Wow.
I was gonna say something really mean, and I was
You
like,
ableist piece of shit.
I'm just kidding. I'm
I
very
know.
supportive.
And you're not a piece of shit for being ableist. You're just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But so am I. So that's why we have a podcast as middle-aged men. So sad but true. But this episode is, I mean, one thing that the show does really well is it builds characters in a very short amount of time. I mean, the game does it too, but you actually get to like interact, so you can decide how much character building actually happens, or you can just like rush through, different stages of the game. But the show does a really good job of building characters, like Henry and Sam. Like, their dynamic, Henry's motivation for basically being a narc for Fedra, which is unfortunately a very fascist government.
What does Fedra stand for? Do we know?
Federal racist.
You don't have to look it up. I was just curious if you knew already.
I didn't know off the top of my head. I should have looked that up. I don't know what Fedra stands for, but it's kind of like the new government post-apocalypse. And he works as, they call him a collaborator, where he basically narcs on people to get extra money, extra medication, and stuff like that, because Sam was very sick. Because of that, another character that we meet, we met her partially in episode 4,
Karen?
Kathleen.
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Kathleen.
Yeah. Kathy. Her
Karen.
Her
name's
brother.
Karen.
Yeah, her brother died, and she's willing to sacrifice everyone.
Yeah.
To get rid of Henry because he narked
On her brother.
Yeah. Basically, him and Sam like swam in a pool, and Kathleen was not happy about it. Or try to sell lemonade in bottled water on a hot summer's day, and she was just not having it. I don't think
she is
that's
the worst.
She is the worst, and
The
that painted
worst.
her as a racist, and I don't think that was.
Oh, yeah. I thought that's where you were going with that. I didn't want to like.
Yeah, I don't think that's her motivation. It's just more vengeance. Like, you killed my brother, I'm gonna fucking ruin you.
But like, she was willing to like
sacrifice fucking everyone for it.
The weird. This is like you and I talked about this earlier. The weird thing about it is that she is like this. She's like a Karen. She's like a mom or something.
Yeah, she's like soccer
just
mom.
A person. Yeah, and she's in charge of this militant group, and we don't know how or why she's in charge of like these fucking military like people. Like,
And,
I don't care that she is a she. I'm just, they paint her very much as like a soccer mom, and it's like, how did soccer mom become in charge of a military group? Why is the military group not in charge of the military
group? Like, no body armor, no anything. She carries a handgun, but then like her second in command, Perry, like has an assault rifle, like bulletproof vest, like all this stuff. Jeffrey Pierce plays Perry with a glorious silver fox beard. He also voiced Tommy in the actual game, Joel's brother, which is kind of cool, just that he got a role in the actual live action. But like, you would look at him and be like, that's the dude in charge, because he's like equipped, clearly has training. But he even says to Kathleen, like, yeah, I'll follow you to the end. And she's like,
I would have gone with you to the very fires of Mordor.
He's with her till the end of the road, pal. You know?
Yeah. The end of the line.
You're right. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me. But he like presents himself as like a military leader, but he's taking, and we don't know why. According to the show, I mean,
that's what bothered us the most. It's not that it is the way that it is. We just have no context to why it is the way that it is. Why she's the leader. But neither of us have played the game, and I'm going to start playing the game, but I don't want to play the game before I finish the show because I don't want to ruin anything for myself. Sorry, that was so long-winded. But maybe they'll explain it in the game.
And both of us are the type of people that if we like dive into a game, like, we're gonna, it's like a week, you know, and that's done. Like,
I had to take a break from playing games because I
put so much time into the
Spider-Man. Yeah, I literally was coming home from work, and I was like, "Hey, Chad, let's do a shot." Bam, and then I was playing Spider-Man until Nicole came home, and it just got, I beat it. Yay me. Yeah. But it didn't take very long, and I was like, ooh, that's bad.
That put a lot of gameplay into a single game in a short amount of time. So, like, and that's exactly how this is going to, like, that's why I haven't started playing this game either, is because
you'll get further in the game than you are on the show.
I like seeing, like, I don't want to like jump between the two and have like the story like either distorted or ruined, depending on, you know, how, I mean, they're following it very closely. So like, there's just a lot there.
I already ruined, and I won't say it on here, but you already know. I told you. I already ruined something very big for myself because I was being curious, and I was like, oh, gameplay, I want to see how close this is, and I was like, oh, no.
No.
I went too far.
But yeah, so that's why we, after watching the first episode, I think both of us were like, we have to play the game.
Mm.
But I think both of us were also like, we have to let one finish before we play the game.
Yeah.
But what is cool is because Sam is Henry's younger brother. He's the child that we see at the end of episode 4, has the pain across his eyes because, he is a child. So he wants to be like a superhero. He is younger than Ellie, but Ellie kind of gets to be like a big sister role, gets to actually act like a kid again, especially after, the 4th episode, or the end of the 4th episode, where she shoots a guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool to see that. Joel and Henry kind of are like reluctant to work together, but they both have like an end goal. Like they have to protect this child that isn't their child, but they have
that. And Henry's like, I know the way out of the city.
Yeah.
So you have to stick with me.
Yeah.
And Joel's like,
because they don't have a car anymore.
Yeah.
That lasted long. But
one of the cool things about this episode that they kind of like flash back on is that Henry and Sam, in the last episode where Joel and Ellie,
yeah,
get ambushed or whatever and end up killing those people and like getting away, Sam and fucking Henry were following them the whole time. That's how they ended up ambushing them.
Yeah,
yeah,
because they heard the gunfire and followed them.
Yeah, so you kind of get to see a little bit of a, even though it was like a day before, you kind of get to see like a flashback of them like watching Joel and Ellie. Like, I keep wanting to say Elliot for some reason, and that's why I keep pausing, because I'm like, that's not right, dum dum. But yeah, so you kind of get to see them like following them, and that's how they end up at the end of the episode, holding them up when they wake up and blah 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 blah. But they work together, like you said, reluctantly.
And it is a little bit of a deviation from the game, is that they made Sam deaf, which adds a whole new dynamic to Henry and Sam, and like the protector role of Henry. And also it's really cool that they brought in Kayvon Woodard to play Sam, who is a young deaf actor.
So this has nothing to do with what you're talking about, but I was like, oh my God, while we were watching it, did that kid not look like a very miniature version of John Boyega? I shit you not. I was like, that's Finn. I was like, that kid looks like fucking John Boyega.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
He's got a little bit of that going, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyways, keep going.
And it's just fun because they like go through the tunnels. They find one of the old underground settlements, or just one of the old settlements of people with the outbreak, but on the outside of the QZ, which was interesting because you like see like abandoned like daycares and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
they had like outdoor games set up indoors.
Yeah.
Like they had like a soccer goal like painted on the wall, and like, you know what I mean, like, because they couldn't go outside to play soccer, so they had like,
which was cool because like kind of like we mentioned, Ellie is 14, like she's barely a teenager, definitely not an adult, in traditional senses. Yeah. And it was just interesting to like get to see her be like kind of like a big sister to Sam, and like play games and color and like tell jokes and kind of like learn a little bit of sign language. And he has like a little sketch pad so that they can like communicate back and forth.
I remember those when I was a kid. You write on it and you pull the flap up and it erases it. It's magnets.
Yeah, it's
And
not.
then when you pull the
It's
thing away, it like separates the magnet from the.
it's like
Yeah.
an etch a sketch without having to shake. It's just like the film. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah. I had one of those when I was a kid.
So did
No
I.
joke. Yeah. It's
I
like,
I didn't get an etch a sketch when I was younger.
see,
So it was
I didn't like Etch a Sketch was dumb because you had to like use the two knobs
yeah,
and then you were
and
like
you could
training.
in
You were like
this other
training
one
for
you
like
could
touching
like
boobs. And like only one went up and down and the other one went side by side.
yeah.
So you had to like like make it like do things.
In this one
Where
you could
this
like
thing,
actually
it
like
was a magnetic pen and there was like shards of like metal inside of it or whatever. And when you would draw on it or write on it, those shards would come to the surface. And then when you were done, you pulled this like flap up like he does in the show, and the shard it would separate that like
yeah.
connection. Yeah.
It was
Fucking
cool.
retard stupid. So sorry. I'm so sorry. It's fucking
No,
stupid.
you're fine.
I'm sorry.
You caught yourself mid word. I think we're
Yeah.
okay. But so like throughout this entire thing, they make their way through the tunnels through that abandoned settlement. They come out in the suburbs of Kansas City. 2023, Mahomes isn't there.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's
He might be. He might be.
he could have
He's
survived.
there. He's just limping around, and the zombies just think he's one of them because
Maybe
his
he
ankles
was the.
hurt.
We're gonna get to it, but he might have been the bloater.
Yeah.
Because like the biggest, baddest, toughest motherfucker around. Uh, Kathleen and Perry and their militia kind of catch up to them in the suburbs. A truck. Joel finds like a well, kills someone and gets a rifle.
Well, there's like so when they get to this, like they think they're safe, and somebody with a sniper starts like shooting at them, and they hide behind the
Yeah.
car. And Joel's like, "You guys stay here. I'm gonna go." And they're like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "The guy, whoever it is a horrible shot. So just I'm gonna run, and they're not gonna hit me because we were just walking, and he didn't hit any of them." So he like goes up there and he like gets the drop on the guy. Just setting it up. Sorry.
No,
And he
you're
gets
fine.
the drop on the guy, and he puts his gun on him, and the guy like turns around, and Joel, you starting to see that like softer side of Joel, and he's like, don't do it. Just put the gun down and slide it over to me. Don't want to kill you, like
Yeah.
don't. And the guy makes a move, and Joel
Drops him.
drops him. Anyways,
And then you kind of hear over a walkie-talkie that the militia is like closing in on their position. So Joel knows that they're in for a gunfight. So he grabs the rifle, starts shooting at like the trucks and Kathleen and Perry's militia that it's coming towards them. But shoots out the driver of the lead truck. It crashes into a house, and then it creates a sinkhole. Because as we kind of saw in episode 4, there's something underground that Kathleen is ignoring.
yeah, she knows it's there.
But she's so hell-bent on getting Henry that she's ignoring the fact that there is a threat to thousands of people, not just her pride
Yeah.
and her lust for vengeance. I thought that sounded cooler.
No, it did. It did.
Yeah, thanks.
I was working on a joke, and then I was like, nope, don't do it.
But a bunch of infected, like
Yeah.
newly infected. I don't think we've talked about it on the podcast as much, but there's like different levels
Stages, yeah.
of infected. Like the basic infected, where it's just the people that might have a
within
few
a year.
spores. Yeah,
Within 1 year, or like a zombie look. What your typical zombie, like a person who looks crazy, is got like blood coming out of their eyes or something.
yeah.
That's within like a year.
Yeah.
You got your 5-year veterans.
Which are like the clickers,
They're the ones who have the fucking
cauliflower face.
yeah. They got the chlamydia coming out of their fucking heads.
Yeah.
Uh,
Chicken of the woods
yeah.
for eyes.
And then
Oyster faces.
yeah, they got the oyster fucking. Anyways,
But
uh,
then we get to see like the next step, which is
you get to see
they're like
full blown
very,
AIDS.
very.
You get to see full blown AIDS.
It shouldn't be so funny, but that made me laugh really hard. Kind of like an early infected that have managed to survive, because we know that because we've seen infected that have kind of like grown into the wall and died,
Yeah.
meaning that they haven't been able to feed. But like the more that they can feed and stuff like that, they grow bigger, they grow stronger. It's so much more of the infection taking
There's
over.
something going on underground that we have not seen yet because
Yeah.
they come from underground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do get to see a bloater, which is
A fantastic name.
fantastic name. I mean, I'm bloated all the time, but that's because I eat cheese and I shouldn't. But they're like,
You're an idiot.
it's like if a clicker gets really angry and you don't want to see them angry. You know, like
Yeah.
it's
It kind of looked like the new version of Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy.
which
Tell me I'm wrong.
Just
Tell me I'm wrong.
so just Vin Diesel, with a wood face.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. It's like the bloaters are like gym bros. You know, they can't put their arms all the way down because the muscles are so fat.
Can't wipe their own ass.
Yeah, that's too much motion. You know?
Yeah.
No, but the bloaters, and again, we haven't played the game, but from everything that I've heard, you know, and read about, like, these are tough motherfuckers to take down.
Yeah. And the bloaters are people who have been infected since the beginning. These are the veterans of
Yeah,
being
like 15
infected.
to 20 years of
Yeah.
being infected and being able
This
to...
is what they turn into. Group.
Yeah. Mushroom Hulk! Oh, sorry.
Mushrooms. I didn't know what to say. I was trying to think of the mushroom the actual thing that it is, and I couldn't think of it. It's like anthropod or something like that, or quadrupod. Is that right?
Cyclopod. Cyclopid? Cyclopod. I don't know, something along those lines.
I thought it was like quadrupod or whatever. That's what I was trying to think of, but it didn't come to me.
Yeah.
But yeah. This episode had a very sad ending.
Did.
Which they keep doing to us, which is not okay.
Yeah. We've only seen 2 hordes
Yeah.
of, well, I guess 3 if you count like the first episode. But like those weren't like fully infected.
Mhm.
And man, this is so fucking sad. Like this show. Another thing that I love about it is it's so much more about society's response to an
It's the
apocalyptic.
People. That's
Yeah.
what it is. The
those
people.
are those are the bigger villains. Because even in episode 2, when Tess dies, they changed that from the game where she dies. I mean, she still gets bit and is like knows that she has to kill herself.
She doesn't get the kiss of death. No.
No, like in the actual game from, again, haven't played, but what I read and what I've seen for gameplay is that it's another militia, but from Boston that comes after them, not a horde.
Oh, interesting.
Because in the game you come across like random hordes like in your travels where
I've come across a lot of horrors in my travel.
oh, you're the worst.
I know. I'm sorry.
But we, as they escape, they find a motel further. I'm just trying to move past it because if I don't, I'm gonna keep laughing.
I feel bad
forever.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. They like find a safe place from like at a motel, where they can stay the night, and Ellie and Sam go into like the actual bedroom, and Henry and Joel are just kind of like out like in the living area, just like talking. But Sam confides in Ellie that he was bit, and is like,
Ooh.
if you turn into a monster, are you still you on the inside? And Ellie has grown to really care for this kid. It's also like a friend to her because, she's so young, hasn't had that. And she's
Yeah.
like, my blood is magic. She knows that she's immune to it. So she like cuts her hand open and like puts blood on his wound from where he was bit to try and heal him. And she's like, I'll stay awake with you. She falls asleep, but Sam is just kind of like staring off and out the window. He does turn. It's not just her blood.
What's really sad about it is because she's a kid, and I mean they're both kids. What's really sad about it is that because she's a kid, she actually would. They're all telling her you're immune. Everybody, all the adults have been telling her like you're immune. Like there's something, you're the cure, you know.
Yeah.
So she actually, I mean, she is the cure, but she's a kid. She doesn't know how it fucking works, right?
Yeah.
So when she cuts her hand and puts it on him, this is like a sad detail that like kind of got like overlooked, is because she actually believes that she could save him.
Her
She
blood is magic. Her blood is
she's
healing.
literally like just stays in the room with, like goes to sleep in the same room with the kid who's gonna like turn, and when she wakes up, he's a fucking zombie.
And he attacks her.
Oh,
And
hold on, we skipped over something.
what did we skip over?
Karen dying.
Oh yeah, Kathleen does die.
And fucking gorgeous beard gets his fucking head ripped in half, which was awesome.
I forgot
Remember?
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like when the horde attacks, when Karen finds them, and Joel's like up in this tower
I
where
just
he
love that
grabbed
you
like
keep calling her Karen.
yeah, she sucks, and he's just like picking people off from this tower, and the bloater just fucking grabs gorgeous beard, and just grabs him by the jaw, and apparently it is game accurate. I haven't played the game, obviously, blah blah, and just rips his head fucking in half and drops the top of his head just on the fucking ground, and it's like, but this during this attack is where Sam and Henry get pinned under a car, and the quadrupeds or whatever the fuck they're called, or like attack. We're just gonna call them
You just
zombies.
call them infected.
Infected are like attacking them. They're like kind of kicking them away, and that's where Sam gets bit. You kind of expect it. You don't really see it.
Yeah.
Whatever. But right when they're about to get away, because Ellie does some heroic shit and like saves them, and then Karen fucking is right there, and she's
Yeah.
like, "You're not going anywhere."
He is
And-
calling her Karen because she is a Karen.
Yeah.
This is Kathleen that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Melanie
Potato, tomato.
Linsky.
Potato, tomato.
Yeah.
Potato, tomato. And and you go. I lost my train of thought.
Sorry. And she like has a gun on Henry and Sam, and she starts to monologue like an idiot in the middle of a fucking zombie
fucking
fight.
Joker versus Batman every fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then an infected like tackles her and just claws her apart and starts biting her, and like
I literally
reeled in.
cheered. I literally was like, "Thank God."
She was the worst. Like nothing against Melanie Linsky, nothing against like even the character is the worst, but like you just wanted her to die because like she was just single-minded, and she sacrificed hundreds of her
I
people.
it would have been really hard to keep watching the show if she was going to be a continuing
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
So just terrible leader. Terribly single-minded. It was
Yeah.
the worst. But back to
She's
the
dead.
Yeah, real dead, like OMG dead. Like
DED dead.
Thank you. But so back to the motel. Sam has turned, attacks Ellie. Sam tackles Ellie through the door into the living area, and you don't know how it's gonna play out because like Henry grabs his gun and shoots at Joel's feet. Like, no,
Well, first Joel like grabs his gun to like save Ellie and is like, "Oh shit." But then Henry is like, "Bam." Like and shoots the floor right in front of Joel and is like, "No." But
Yeah.
anyway, keep going.
Oh, you can keep going from there.
No. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. No, you go. You go. I just wanted to. I didn't want because you're like, oh, he shoots in front of his feet, and it was like because
Yeah,
Joel
because
was about to blast Sam.
and then Henry shoots Sam in the head.
It's very sad.
And then what's worse is Henry then points the gun at Joel to like stay away.
Hmm.
And then what does Henry do from there?
Oh, he fucking just shoots himself.
Yeah.
I did watch the gameplay comparison of that, and in the game, Henry points the gun at Joel and blames him. He's like, "This is your fault. This is all your fault." And Joel is like, "Don't. Just give me the gun. I'm gonna take that gun from you." And then Henry,
Yeah. And in the show, in the show, Henry's like, "What did I do?"
Mhm.
And then shoots
Yeah.
himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's
He just shot his little brother. Yeah.
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 It wasn't
Very
really his
sad.
little brother anymore, but like it's
Yeah.
still heartbreaking.
Well, yeah. I mean, and I think one of the heartbreaking scenes of the show is at the end when Joel buries both of them. Ellie writes on is it on the kids etch it sketch thing? Yeah, she writes, "I'm sorry," and it's because she really believed that her blood would heal him, and it didn't. And yeah, very sad.
And Joel like sees that and like looks up towards Ellie as she's walking away, and like I think that that's another way that the show is deviating from the game to create more connection in a shorter amount of time between Joel and Ellie.
Yeah,
But fuck, man.
yeah,
Like this show is so heartbreaking. It's so stressful,
hmm
but it's so good.
yeah. It is good. It's really good.
Holy shit. Shit.
Yeah,
Shit.
I mean, she.
Anything else that you want to say about the show? Do you have any cons about the show yet? Except for like we kind of covered like
I don't think
why
so.
Kathleen is the one in
Yeah,
power.
that's the only thing is like, why is she?
That
But other
for
than that,
how
no,
good the show
it's-
is for character building and like
Mhm.
backstory building, that's the one thing that I'm like confused about. Like, why was she in charge? I understand her motives, and I
Yeah.
understand that she's single-minded because like she's consumed by like wanting revenge.
Yeah.
Doesn't change the fact that she's the worst.
Her brother sounded kind of like a bitch anyway. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
wasn't that great
Is
of a
it-
dude to begin with.
is a fucking narc.
But like, I guess that would be my only con for this week is that like,
I want to know why
why was she in?
she was
why
in
was
charge.
she in charge?
Yeah.
And that might be
How did
something
it-
that
and how
that
did it
we learned
happen?
through the game.
And how did it happen?
Yeah,
Like if a Marine came into my town and was like, "I'm taking over this town," and my mom was like, "No, you're fucking not," and he was like, "Yeah." Hey, you're right. Here, take my gun.
Yeah.
Lead us.
I will follow you forever.
Yeah.
But
Like, in my head, that's how it's going because I have no context. I just don't get
Yeah.
it. Like, yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. I guess that's the only con for us then, is
Yeah.
that we don't understand how she came to power and why so many people more qualified to lead weren't.
Yeah.
But with that being said,
Oh,
we're gonna go ahead and close out this episode.
but before we close out this episode, we do want to talk about our honorable mentions. Chad, what do you
Oh,
got?
not Chaz. No. Well, I mean, I think like you, we've both been watching Shrinking from Apple TV. It's just such a good show, man.
Yeah.
But also from Apple TV, I started watching Mythic Quest, which is Rob McElhenney's
And what's
show.
he from for our listeners?
Always Sunny.
And who does he play in Always Sunny?
Mac, right? Yeah. Him and Charlie Day actually created the show. But
Nice.
Charlie's not in it.
Nice.
But basically, he is a creative director at a massive, like, basically World of Warcraft video game. And it's really funny. It's hilarious because he's also, like, he's the type of dude that, like, wants to think of himself as an alpha, but he's just an asshole, and it's hilarious. And the people around him,
So he's a Republican.
you would think so, but, like, he's actually not a terrible person. He's just a dick. I mean, you get, like, Charlotte Nikado is, like, the other main lead, but you also have David Hornsby, who is, like, the executive producer. F. Murray Abraham, who was actually the voice of Khonshu for Moon Knight,
Oh, nice.
is a character in there. Danny Pudi, who a lot of
Yeah.
people would recognize as Abed from Community, is, like, their monetization guy. So, like, his
Cool.
entire thing is how do we make money from this? And he's just cynical. It's hilarious. Last night I finished season 1, and there's 3 seasons.
Nice.
But the show is absolutely hilarious. I'm loving it. It's so funny. There's so many pop culture references. The girl, Charlotte, I already forgot her last name, that plays Poppy, who is, like, the co-creative director. She's definitely, like, a 23-year-old, just, like, wizard at, like, coding and stuff like that. But Rob McElhenney keeps making, like, pop culture references. Like, he references Back to the Future. Rudy calls back to, like, the early 90s, like, Olympics and stuff like that. And Charlotte's just always, her Poppy is her character, is always like, who? What? Like, she doesn't get it, and he's like, I'm talking about the movie, god damn it! Like, it's just hilarious. It's a great show. I would recommend it to anyone who plays games, because it kind of gives, like, an inside stressful look into, like, the chaos. But it's so fucking funny. I would definitely recommend it. What are you watching, though? What have you and the GF watched this week that you want to talk
Well,
about?
we are also We're
Alcho,
also watching Shrinking, which, again, like you said, it's phenomenal. Every week is hilarious and heartwarming. I mean, it's just a really good feel-good show. It really is. Like, if you like that kind of thing.
I mean, it's Bill Lawrence. It's,
Yeah.
you know,
Ted Lasso.
Scrubs,
If you like
Ted
Ted
Lasso.
Lasso and Scrubs, this is right up your asshole. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Allie. Yeah. We also just started watching. I've already seen it, but I wanted Nicole to watch it, and we started watching Modern Family, because it's really funny. And if you haven't seen it, Jesus Christ, there's like 11 seasons. There's a lot to watch. If you're looking for like a winter binge, go
Yeah.
watch it. And then I made Nicole watch on Saturday night. I made her watch the remake of War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning. Fucking love that movie. It's so good.
It is really
And
good.
that's it. Yeah, those are my honorable mentions. Nothing crazy.
Well, other than that, I mean, for our diehard listeners, Jake, what should people be doing?
Giving us your goddamn money.
Yes, please. I mean, it's because we love you and we want to put out the best show possible, and all the money that we get goes right back into the show. We have a couple of interesting guests coming up in the next couple of months.
Should have a live stream coming to you soon.
Yeah, we just haven't picked a day.
Yeah.
And also just some big news, but we're not quite
if
ready
you're
to
new-
announce it.
Yeah, and if you're new here, when we do our live streams, we give shit away. So
Yeah.
come hang out. Right? We've seen the plays on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. Come hang out. We'll give you some stuff.
Yeah. We just like doing this. I mean, we have other jobs. Like, this is just a passion project. But we enjoy doing it so much. And so the people that stick around, support us, we like to give back. And the more money that
Give it
comes in,
back.
we give it back. We give it back. Usually first. So you can go to buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. It's a great way to support us. It's a monthly subscription. There's a couple of different levels. You get different perks for doing that. If that's not something that you want to do, but you still want to support us, you can go to allthingsnerdpodcast.com. You can pick up some merch, and that supports us as well. Like we said, everything that we get goes right back into the podcast at this point in time. We have not just the two of us on staff, and we all work for nothing because this is just something that we love.
Mm-hmm.
We would love to get to the point to where we could, I don't know, pay our employees and the people that, work with us. But, right now it's just, this is what we love to do. So give us your money. It helps. If you don't want to give us your money, I mean, lame, but...
And also, thank you
Yeah.
for the person that is working for free right now.
Yes.
We appreciate you, and we will pay you someday.
You'll see his
Maybe.
name at the end of this. It's Alan. He's awesome. He's our executive producer. Yeah, if you don't want to give us your money, I mean, I get it. We get it. It'd be a lot cooler if you did. But you can just share, subscribe, tell people about us. I mean, the more views that we get, I mean, that helps us with our sponsors. More eyes just helps. So anything that you all are willing to do just really helps. We didn't mention this at the start. This is episode 100.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. This is,
Hey.
we've been doing this for a little over 2 years. We've taken a couple weeks off because life happens, but we love you all so much, and thank you. And this has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.